What's up, guys, gals? It's Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind the bar reviews. That is not a behind or bar review, but still, One Piece chapter 987 review, read through sort of deal. The same thing I've been doing recently because it's just easier. I'm here on the computer. It takes me a lot less time to honestly go through it rather than try to remember everything, cut the video, and all that stuff. So either way, this they came out a little late, the official viz. I know a lot of other people, read unofficial scans and everybody got their review out, but I'm not going to skip the chapter just because it was a couple days late. No big deal. We're here. Color page right off the bat. Color page looks really good finally. Jinbei included in the whole. This is all the Straw Hats from what I can tell. I don't think anybody is missing, but it's just a fun little drawing with everyone enjoying. I really like Jinbei's kimono with the polar bear, doing the sort of the wave thing sort of idea. That's pretty cool. Anyways, so nice big color spread this week. So no cover page continuation from what I can tell. Hopefully we're done with the beige stuff, because honestly, Lola Chiffon, the beige stuff, I just was not a huge fan. Pound being alive kind of irked me. Once again, I think Oda did that. Same with the Pell thing due to what's going on. But it's just whatever. Anyways, point is that right here, where Kaido seems to be remembering the scar he got when Odin cut him, the one thing that we know that cut Kaido's skin in dragon form and gave him the scar. And then we're seeing again a flashback of Odin boiling in the pot, yelling, "Open Wano's borders." So we're just repeating it here. He said, "Don't make the mistake of underestimating my samurai to Kaido." And Kaido said, "They'll speak of you years to come." Once again, Kaido respected Odin. They were enemies. And Kaido's not exactly an uppity up. He's more like a kid. He's not Law or Luffy. Kaido is more like Kid if Kid was a Yonko. Kid still has a certain level of, he is very passionate about his friend Killer and stuff like that. He can find things to be passionate about, rivalries and things like that, right? So I find that comparison a little bit. Kaido's more of a piratey pirate in that regard. He's more the evil side of things. But he still has a level of respect. And he's like, I still gotta kill you, but I killed the hag. That wasn't fair. We were having a duel. You were getting the upper hand on me, and you got cheap shotted from behind, and I didn't care for that. So either way, he says they can forget me for all I care because my soul will live on. There's something really controversial here in this chapter that I'm sure the fan base will talk about. I'll watch Tekken 101's review on it. I'm sure he'll talk about it, in a video this week and such, about the Rearwo hockey being implemented here, because even the unofficial, I checked another translation before reading this one, and we'll get to it, but everyone seems to state the same thing, even here in the official viz, so we'll get to that. Here's where, at the end of the last chapter, of course, even after he shot Odin and stuff, he still had this thing, and now he's remembering Odin as Kinemon and all of them pierces, you can't do anything to me, and he remembers Odin, get out of Wano. And he remembers, him being attacked. And here we're seeing that the blades are piercing him, especially Denjiro, Kinemon for sure, possibly Denjiro as well, while Raizo seems to be almost about to behead Kaido there in this big double page shot. Kiku has actually stabbed him in the hand. So they've all attacked him. It appears, from what I can tell, Nekomamushi seems to be keeping his other hand at bay. Raizo doesn't seem to be drawing any blood quite yet, but from where I can tell, and from the last chapter, Denjiro, Kiku, and Kinemon have all drawn blood from Kaido. They've all stabbed him. And Lord Kaido, it's the samurai, it's a raid, grab your weapons. So we jump over to the next page, and here's where it's a throb. As Kaido starts to fall, he feels the throb from the scar left from Odin. And he goes, the scar I got from Odin. He's shocked. Why does it hurt? Why do their blades pierce me? Remember, even Big Mom herself said, you can't kill, you can't even hurt that thing. It's something that Kaido can't be killed. Kaido's jumped off of Sky Island. He's been executed and stuff. I'm finding the answer being Rearwo a little easy, because I would assume, I think it's a fair assumption, that Roger, Rayleigh, Whitebeard, Odin, Shanks, Big Mom, Kaido himself. I assume that all of these, Garp, Sengoku, they all have reroll hockey. We know for certain that Rayleigh had it. If Rayleigh had it, chances are Roger had it. We know Odin had it because it's confirmed even in this chapter. And Hirogoro himself has it. Now, of course, even if Momonosuke had armament hockey, doesn't mean that his armament hockey, even if he can do it perfectly, doesn't mean it would be a match for someone. Doesn't mean it would necessarily hurt Luffy or Smoker or an Admiral or something. So, of course, it depends on the user themselves. But the implication that everyone's like, Kaido, the unkillable beast, when reroll hockey is the answer, seems strange. So, I'm not going to make assumptions yet. I'm just going to go off on what we hear in this chapter, because here's what they're said, and we see the cracks, the black cracks of the lightning, the bolts, sort of signifying, a lot of the time that's signifying conquerors, but it's also been able to signify armament as well. And here we see them falling, and he says, why do their blades pierce me? Do they use his Ryuo too? And in another translation I heard, Odin's Ryuo too. Do they use specifically his, not their own, that they're tapping into as Odin promised Kaido, they are using Odin's Ryuo somehow. They're using his power, and that's why they're able to pierce him. I don't know what they're going on. Maybe Kaido's become superstitious, similar to Orochi in this regard. Like, their blades pierce me. It must be Odin himself, Maybe he's gone a little, it's psychological warfare on Kaido here, and that's why. Maybe it's his mental state that allows blades to pierce him, a Big Mom thing, but that'd be a repeat of the Big Mom thing. So, they're using his Ryuo. Once again, I'm not sure what they're trying to tell me. Maybe it's simple and I'm overthinking it, but this is the big thing that I'm going to go check Joy Boy and King of Lightning and Tekking and Roger and all them and see what they have to say about this. Even when Sundown gets off his British ass and finds out when he gets his review out. My boy Sundown Rider, maybe he'll have a more simpler explanation. So they all yell to pierce his hide. Everyone can't understand that Kaido's screaming, and they slam right through the floor after falling off the roof, and they slam right through it. So they crash through the floor. What did they think they did? Were the pirates earlier just a distraction? Kill the samurai? There must be more intruders around. Now this is where all the samurai reveal themselves, and we see some of the Hirogoro and a couple, one of the other bosses. I can't tell if any of the other ones are here, but we're seeing one of the other bosses of the mafia, of the Yakuza here, and they've all thrown off their beast pirate garbs, and now they're here as samurai yelling, "You're correct, we won't let you get any closer to the 9 red scabbards." So Big Mom's there, seemingly doesn't seem to care. What's this? What a violent feast. Is Kaido dead or what? Okay, wait, what? Once again, the reaction here, is Kaido dead from this? She seems... Shouldn't she be terrified if the unkillable beast is dead? She should be worried, this isn't possible. Big Mom's response here, Linden's response is odd to me, but either way, they're in disguise. Aren't those the Yakuza we had imprisoned in Udon? Yes, they are. Let's hurry, Luffy. So we have Yamato and Luffy yelling, these are the real vassals of Odin. Yeah, they're tough. So here we have Yamato, and we have Uki here fighting against Yamato, and he goes, and Luffy's calling her headbutt. Ulti, you're going to pay for what you did to me. Whatever was the meaning of that, Yamato? It's what I should have done. This is the day when I become Kazuki Odin at last. So once again, Yamato, not delusional, just Yamato has chosen, with Odin dead, someone needs to carry on his dreams. Sort of like this entire manga has always been about dreams. This entire thing has been a romance about adventure. And we've seen that in so many people's dreams, especially the Straw Hats representing it. Luffy almost the most, but also the carrying on of people's dreams that have died. Carrying on Whitebeard, carrying on Roger. Rayleigh himself took Luffy under his wing, knowing that he would carry on Roger's will. Roger's dream is not dead. And he will carry it on. And Luffy has carried on other dreams, Nolan's dream and all that stuff. So, and made it real, made it there. So Yamato, a similar character here in the sense that unlike Luffy, took it a little further and said, basically, I have to become Kazuki Oden because Kazuki Oden will open Wano's borders by leading the charge and stopping Orochi and Kaido. So, very interesting. I'm really liking Yamato as a character and all that stuff. So Orochi says, you're crazy, you're stupid. Young Master Yamato, it's an emergency. Your father's been attacked. Area crawling with enemies. I'm not on your side. Let my father die. She doesn't care anymore. So now Big Mom has noticed Straw Hat and yells, Straw Hat! He's like, Luffy, I love that Luffy still has this coat on. I don't care what it is in the anime, if it's red. I would really like it if it was black with gold trim, like Roger or something. I really want this coat, this overcoat of his, where he looks more like an emperor, more like the fifth Yonko, where he stands there cracking his knuckles sort of idea, this cape draped over him. In the manga, of course, everything's black and white. I really hope this coat is either a deep red, because Luffy's classic red and blue, but it'd be nice to see deep red or black. I'm really hoping. So I'm not sure if they've caught up to this point in the anime. I don't think they have. Big Mom, I'm busy right now. I love it. So Nami and Carrot escape using the black balls and stuff, and the Elect Claw. So Big Mom shouts, I came all this way just so I can kill you. And Luffy's like, not like, oh my god, it's Big Mom. Like, I really don't have time for this. I'm trying to do a thing. Can you come back later? Like, I don't mind fighting you, but I'm here. Kaido first, you second. I told you that in Fishman Island. Kaido first, you are number 2. Sorry you have to wait for me to kick your ass, So we jump over to the next page. We have Kaido there, actually bleeding, and he was stabbed multiple times. He's holding his chest. He is bleeding, but he's up. All of Orochi's hallucinations that no one believed have come to pass. The rumors at Odin's castle, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, the lost island of Zou. Oddly enough, you have been hiding in the shadows, cast by the very man I've had my eye on, Straw Hat. So you've allied yourself with pirates. You preserved for 20 years, and in some cases, some of you have traveled through time. You managed to recruit an army, and we're seeing just all the reactions, all the grim faces of all the, we're seeing Izo, we're seeing Inarashi, Nekomamushi, Denjiro, Ashiro Doji, just all as Kaido makes this monologue and says, but pirates will betray you. When they know they'll lose, they'll abandon you and sail away. Now, this, I'm wondering who's going to take this in stride, because when they know they'll lose, they'll abandon you and sail away. Once again, implying that perhaps Rox did this. Roxy Zebek might have done this to Kaido, where Kaido was sort of, we have assumed, now I don't know where we're getting this, but we have assumed that Kaido is significantly younger than Big Mom. Like, not in his 60s. I mean, Shaggy looks pretty good. That's all I can say. Like, there's some old characters in here that still look pretty good for their age. So I never thought Kaido was that. A lot of people have assumed Kaido's a lot younger. If we've gotten an official age in SBS and I'm just, just out of it and don't have the time to go on the wiki every day, then correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought that Kaido was of that thing. But if Kaido was an apprentice, if he was that young, if he's that far much younger than Big Mom, then he would have been similar, like the Buggy and the Shanks on Roger's crew. Kaido would have been on Roxy Zebek's crew. And in that case, maybe he looked up to them. And when the whole crew disbanded and basically turned tail during the God Valley incident, maybe from Kaido's perspective, when they know they'll lose, they'll abandon you and sail away, because that's when it all went to shit. That's when Whitebeard left. The greatest crew of all time, the strongest crew, was basically defeated, and they all turned tail and ran. We don't know exactly the details, but Roger and Garp teamed up and managed to beat back the current Yonkos themselves, plus more. And I guess maybe Kaido has forever, maybe he was somebody with some dreams in his eyes about what it is to be a pirate. Not necessarily like a Roger or Shanks, but maybe he had a little more of a starry-eyed gaze, and it was crushed at that time. This is all assuming that Kaido was like a younger sort of cabin boy sort of idea, still strong in his own right, but Shanks Buggy sort of time, or a teenager when it all went to shit. So either way, Kaido says, and I've already beaten Straw Hat Luffy into submission once, and Kinemon, who's doing Nitoryu, there's two sword style, you speak slander. Sir Luffy is nothing like you. He will one day stand at the pinnacle of this sea. If every last one of us dies, he will remain. Mark my words, daybreak will come to Wano. That is the promise I made to my lord. Now, I saw, and this is probably just people that love that whole Willa D thing, what it is. They said, dawn will come to Wano in the unofficial translations. So, a lot of people have said romance dawn. The D means dawn, bringing dawn to this world, stopping after 800 years and all that. It's not a bad theory, but anyways, I just noticed that, and they implied it more. Anyway, just a comparison thing I noticed when I was looking up the werewolf stuff at the beginning. So Kinemon giving a great speech here, basically saying Kinemon's basically saying, Luffy's not like you. He is the man who will one day be king of the pirates, and you are nothing like him. You are not the king of the pirates. You will never be Luffy, and Luffy will be the king. So far, like, the ones who believe in him are the people like Rayleigh. He's like, yeah, well, he's like Roger. Like, it's almost implying that somebody like Kaido, Big Mom, and Blackbeard, they can't become king of the pirates. Almost like that's holding them back. Of course, this is shonen, but still, it's a nice sentiment. I like Kinemon's speech. So after this, we get Big Mom still talking. We jump back to Luffy and stuff. Why did you come here, Straw Hat? Don't tell me jokes about beating Kaido. And then Yamato says, it seems, who? Oh, Luffy says, no, that's not it. And Yamato says, what? And then Luffy's silent. And Yamato, it's not, Luffy? You're not here to beat Kaido? He says, what was that, Straw Hat? What did you say, Straw Hat fellow? And everyone's worried. And he goes, it's Kaido, and it's you, and your officers, and Orochi, and his followers. I came to whoop the whole lot of you. This is all out war. And I was like, okay, at first I was like, no, Luffy, that is your deal. That is your deal. You are here to beat the shit out of Kaido. That's what you've been claiming since Fishman Island. And he's like, it's not Luffy. And he's like, no. I'm not just beating Kaido. It's kind of good that you're here, because I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat Orochi. Doesn't know Orochi's dead by seemingly. Your followers, your commanders, the Calamities, all of you. I'm beating up every single one of you, and I'm going to win this war. So Luffy, of course, just declaring, whatever he feels like. Big Mom laughing her ass off with her homies. Mama, don't get ahead of yourself. What? With what? A few hundred man? I love this part. He goes, it's Master Queen. He goes, what a dope. He goes, an invading force of thousands stuck into the weir. And we get the Queen face. What? And I love Queen's reactions. Queen's probably my favorite Calamity right now, just for the humorous parts and the funky. I just really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So after this, we get, we're shooting back to that everyone has now teamed up. So Kid is having help, and we see that's definitely, there's Killer there, and there's one of the other Yakuza bosses in the back. The female one is in the back with Kid. It's the samurai we arrested in the Flower Capital and the prisoners from Udon, and we see that Zoro has seemingly defeated all these smile users, and the samurai sort of showed up to help him beat up the last of them, sort of idea. But Zoro seems, he's not like panting and sweating and leaning on his sword. He's just like, yeah. So all those smile users that Zoro was facing down, he was kicking the crap out of all of them while he waited for these dudes to show up. So pretty impressive there. Same with, we see Law here doing the same thing. And there's the former warlord. I'm surprised, well, I haven't mentioned because Jinbei's not really in the fight yet, as far as we know. But he says, and there's the former warlord Law, in addition to the pirates from earlier. They're all working together and they just keep coming. I'm like, what are they going to say when Jinbei goes, Fishman Karate? It's like, another warlord. Even Kid and Law were like, oh shit, a former warlord of the sea has joined the Straw Hats. We are like, even Kid and Law are like, we like going to war with them would be straight up might be a bad idea now. Like, they were already formidable. Now they have Jinbei. So for some reason, there's also Marco the Phoenix near the entrance. Now, I screwed this up in the review that happened. He said, I saw like a dark shadow in the water. I'm going to go check it out before I join the main battle. I hope we get to see this, because now it's Marco the Phoenix versus Charlotte Perospero. Now, we know Katakuri's the strongest of the Big Mom Pirates. That's almost undisputed by every fan with a brain on their, right here. Not down here, up here. So that's the thing here, is that Marco is still fighting the first child of Big Mom. Perospero is still, he was a sweet commander. He's still formidable, but Marco's going to go take care of Perospero, the only one of the Big Mom children that managed to make it seems. I hope we get some of that fight, but I think Marco's going to wash. Remember, Marco himself is sort of, it's kind of like, once again, Ben Beckman and those kind of guys. We don't really know their full extent, and I mean, he was going toe-to-toe with an admiral. I would not want to see Perospero try to face down Kizaru or Akainu or Aokiji 1v1. I don't think it would end well. I mean, the Marineford War, there was a bunch of crap going on, but Marco and Kizaru were going at it, and they were pretty confident facing each other. I don't see Perospero being like that, so I think Marco's got this. That being said, we're near the end of the chapter. Every last junk on Onigashima, listen up. It's time to grab your weapons. Let's take back Wano. And then we have Kaido, of course, transforming into his full. I don't think we've seen his hybrid dragon form yet. I was kind of hoping for that. Unless he's constantly in hybrid dragon form. That's possible, but I mean, I just don't think we've seen it. Anyway, I heard that, Straw Hat. Do it. I accept your challenge. He transforms into a full dragon and says, I'll show you the greatest army in the world. So he has transformed into a dragon from underneath the floor. He heard it and said, oh yeah. And that's what Kaido's been wanting, an all-out war. And he's like, I accept this. Let's do it. All-out war. Let's make Marineford look weak. And so Kaido's flying up through the sky. All the samurai have jumped, or the 9 red scabbards have jumped on Kaido and are riding him up to the top, because Kaido, I guess he can't really fight. It's harder for him to fight indoors, and we've seen him do hyper beam like a Gyarados, or pull arrow blast like Lugia in Pokemon 2000. So we know in this form he can do some devastating attacks. So they're riding on his scaly body up to the top, and they yell down to Luffy, say, Luffy, much appreciated. Kinemon's like, Kinemon, don't worry, I'll catch up later. Save some of Kaido from me. So this is where the dome roof of Onigashima, this is a great shot of Kaido in dragon form, looking really, really powerful. But all the red scabbards, they all made it up there by the looks of it. I'm not seeing anybody missing. They're all standing tall, facing him down, saying, I think I've sobered up. If you want to do battle, an open space is best, just like the last time. Only now, Odin is dead. And I'm like, now he's trying to get under their skin. He's like, last time you might have stood a chance with Odin, but Odin's dead now. What are you going to do to me? And I love Inarashi and Nekomamushi. But there is one more difference between that day and this time. We had a feeling you were going to be fighting inside the dome in dragon form. So we brought many a warrior from our kingdom with us. And I was wondering where they are. There's all the minks, all lined up. Kaido notices them. The snow is light, like flower petals. The perfect night to watch the full moon. We all thought it would be Jack. I mean, it might still, but the Calamities have basically been bitch slapped for the big prize. And now, Nekomamushi looking evil like the Cheshire Cat to watch the full moon. It's Sulong form with not just Inarashi, Nekomamushi, and the other scabbards. And I'm sure Inarashi Nekomamushi will make Carrot's Sulong form look weak by comparison, but it's all the other minks. We're going to have an entire transformed set of warriors that can control it fighting against Kaido, plus the scabbards, who now somehow are able to use the rear woe of Odin to pierce him with their blades. Why? I'll leave that for the theorists. That's for Tekking and Joy Boy to figure out this week. But for the rest of us, Odin might answer this later, and we might get an answer to what rear woe really is, because it's odd that Rayleigh knows it, but he didn't really fully. I mean, of course he explained, like, there's nothing like battle experience. What you could train for 3 years. If you battle for 1, you'll be 5 years in advance. Like, that's just the way it works. Hockey blooms in combat, in life-threatening. It's Zenkai boost is what hockey is, right? It blooms in battle. So that's the thing, and but I'm surprised that Rayleigh never seemingly tried to teach this to him, knowing that he was going where he was going, but either way, or at least tried to teach him the basics and failed, and then we might have had that. Either way, we know that Rayleigh can do it, so maybe there is more to this werewolf hockey. Maybe this is something not everybody can learn. Maybe you do need a special trait or talent similar to Conqueror's hockey. It's not something that everybody can use. Might be passion driven. I have no idea. But either way, this has been chapter 987 of One Piece. Guys, this is a really good chapter. I'm enjoying it. The hype for 988 is real. It's here. I can't wait. Hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's always very much appreciated. And this has been Griever with your Behind the Bar review. That is not a Behind the Bar review for One Piece 987. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drink responsibly as always. See you back here next time. Peace.